What's going on, y'all? I had a question. What's happening with our babies? I mean, all our babies, the boys, the girls. For years, we talked about our little boys and how they're out of control, undisciplined, and all those kind of things. We found ways to kind of corral some of them and get them to move in the right direction. And we're not going to be successful with every one of them. But for every one you save, there could be 1,000 more behind him that learn from it. But our little girls, um, are we forgetting about them? This story that's out about the young lady, little girl, Kanika Jenkins, and being found dead in a hotel freezer, and speculation that one or two of her little girl friends were party to this whole incident. The fact that there were some young boys involved with this is absolutely bananas. I don't understand it, and I'm trying to. Being a father of four girls, two are young ladies now, and two are young girls. And I worried about my older two, and I thank God that their mom had the wherewithal to keep them safe when I wasn't around. I worry about my now 16-year-old who will soon be going off to college. And when I look at the way these young ladies are acting toward one another, it scares me to death. And any father, any mother, you should really worry about your babies. It's not like when I went off to college, my parents were able to pack me up, say see you later, and not a real worry in the world. We weren't as vicious, as sinister as these kids are today. And it kills me because they seem to think that it makes them tough, or it makes people respect them, or um, they become bigger than life the more violent or destructive they are. And I don't understand where we've gone wrong in showing them or educating them on this is not the way to do things. And so, as I said, I have this beautiful 16-year-old, 17 in a couple of weeks, headed off to college soon. And like me, like those of you who've gone on to college, she's going to be in situations, whether they're parties, just hanging out, dinners, bars, all these kind of things. And there are going to be people who don't like her for whatever reason, whether it's her looks, her grades. Hell, it could just be her parents. Maybe someone will see me or her mom and envy us for, or envy her for having two caring parents. Who knows what these reasons are, but they're going to be haters. And because of her loving nature, she may not pick it up. Just like apparently this young lady, Kanika, didn't pick it up. And the speculation is that those that were supposed to be her friends are the ones that put her in harm's way. So how do we protect our kids in situations like that? I don't know. Because we can talk, 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 and we all know a lot of times what we say is in one ear and out the next with our children. We all did it to our parents, so there's no need in denying it. I mean, what do we do? How do we get them to at least understand that we have their best interests at heart? How do we get them to understand that everyone that smiles in your face is not necessarily your friend. Contrary to my daughters, all of them, contrary to their belief, when it comes to them, daddy's a punk. Daddy gets scared every time they walk out the house. It's not easy. Um, it's not easy to even think about the harm that could come to these young ladies and these little girls. It's even harder for me to imagine. Well, maybe it's not hard, but the things I imagine doing if someone brought harm to them in a foul way, something other than accidental. Accidents happen, but in a foul, menacing, um, intentional way. How I would respond. And I know a few of my brothers watching this agree and would join me in that response, but that's not what we're trying to do. But getting back to the script, how do we continue to protect our children? What do we need to change? I mean, this world sucks. Not the world. This society sucks. We work hard. We encourage them to work hard. We talk to them about being good and doing good. But yet, the society is not built on any of that. Again, it's built on how tough you can be, how violent you can be, how much harm you can cause someone. That gets you a rep. I don't know what kind of rep these kids are looking for. And then let's talk about the parents of those children. One thing I'm sick and tired of hearing parents say is, well, you can't blame me. I don't know where they're at 24 hours a day. Seriously? I know where mine are at 24 hours a day. And if somewhere along that line, that timeline, I lose track, call mommy. Because mommy knows. Excuse me. There's more than one taking care of those babies. So there should be no need for you not to know. And fathers, girl or boy, dude, stop the BS, man. That woman doesn't care for you anymore. You don't care for her anymore. You guys can't see eye to eye. Cool. Keep it pushing. But those babies that you made, you got shit to do with it. I think about this all the time. And I'm not talking just to talk. When I talk about what I live. I'm a father of 5. My 3 oldest are with one woman, and my 2 youngest are with another. And from the oldest to the youngest, this dude remained present. I don't care what anybody said. I don't care what anybody did. I knew my responsibility was to be present for those babies from beginning to end. So, fathers, stop making excuses. Because the only one you're bullshitting is yourself. Mothers, you have to stop criticizing and crucifying the fathers. Y'all don't get along for whatever reason. Whatever he did, whatever you did, it don't matter. At a certain point, you have to just say to yourself, it's about these babies. And that point should be immediate. Immediate meaning when they're born. When when they take their first breath, it's no longer about you two. It's about them. Now, I'm not saying you don't work on your relationship if if you're staying together or if you feel like you're falling apart, whatever. But the end result should be both of you being a unified front for those kids. What I can say is I'm thankful that the women that have my children, um, whether it was a rocky road or not, we know that taking care of those kids as a unit is important. Not saying they like everything I did or didn't do. Not saying I like everything they did or didn't do. But when it came down to it, we took care of the kids. So ask yourself what's happening to our babies. And then look at your own and see if there's something you can do to upgrade the care or the concern that you show them or give them. And how about this? I do it so I know it can be done. How about talking to that little dude or that young lady in the neighborhood that you see every day, every few days, whatever? Say good morning, good afternoon, good night, how was school, how was work, whatever it is. Engage him. It's not hard. Quick story. Going out to work this morning. This little guy, I've seen him 2 or 3 times over the last couple of weeks, and he wears a school uniform. He's supposed to have a tie on, and the first couple of times I saw him with his tie in his hand, and he's dragging it on the ground. He's beating it against the garbage, kind of using it as a whip. He's just out there, just doing whatever, being a kid, basically. But one thing I noticed is that he didn't look too happy or excited, I guess, about whatever it was he was doing. I guess school, going to school. So this morning, I decided I was going to engage him. And as he's walking toward me, I'm getting in my car, and I said, "My man, what's going on? Good morning." He mumbled something. He didn't say good morning. And I stepped away from the car in his direction, not aggressively, but I said, "My man, you didn't hear me say good morning to you?" And he looked up and he mumbled, "Good morning." And I said, "What's that you got in your hand? Your tie?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "You mean yes?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "No, you mean yes." And he stopped. And he said, "Yes." I said, "Why don't you have it on your neck?" He said, "Because I don't like it." And I said, "Why don't you like it?" And he said, "Because the other boys don't like it." Those of you that know me or have seen me know that I wear a bow tie a lot of times now. Because that wasn't supposed to be the thing to do. That wasn't the norm, but I wanted to be a little different. But I said, "You see this bow tie on my neck?" I said, "A lot of people don't like this either. But I do it because I like it." And I said, "Do you like your tie?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Put your tie on your neck." And it was funny because he literally put it around his neck and tied it in a bow, like a shoe bow. So I said, "Come here, man." And I retied his tie for him. And from the time that I gestured for him to come to me to the time I tied his tie, I watched his smile grow. And what did that do for me? That put me in a great mood. Because I'm going to tell you, I was in a pissy mood. Something happened at work yesterday, and I was going to have to deal with it today. And I didn't, not that I didn't want to, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't have had to. But when I dealt with that little guy this morning, it changed my whole attitude, and it changed his. So take time. Stop with the nonsense about you can't talk to kids, you don't know what they're gonna do, blah blah blah. I've said it 1,000 times before. Them kids need love. They need attention. And with the way they're being cut down, locked up, shunned, it's up to us as a community to grab hold of them, to go back to what we heard as kids. We are somebody. We mean something. They don't get that anymore. Think about it. Schools used to even not just schools, but even in the community, we used to talk to kids, or we used to hear from the adults that we were somebody, we meant something, and we counted. Really think about it. Those of you who are anywhere near my age know exactly what I'm talking about. We used to hear it all the time. We were encouraged. These kids aren't encouraged. They don't get the love that we used to get, and it's our fault. You can shake your head, no, it's your fault, it's my fault. Nah, I'm not gonna blame myself, because I know I do a lot. I could do more, but I know I do a lot. So, what's happening with our babies? Ask yourself the question, and then become part of the solution so we can get rid of this problem. Y'all check me out on Stark Naked Truth on Instagram, the Stark Naked Truth on YouTube. I talk to men. I want to talk to more men. I want you guys to hit me up. My email's on there. My phone number's on there. You can hit me up on Facebook. I want you guys to hit me up. Let's sit down. Let's have a conversation about these things. Because men, we don't do that enough. Ladies, this show is for men. I want men to come out and really talk the talk. I'm not inviting you all as guests just yet, but what I am asking you all to do is to subscribe to my page, men and women. Subscribe to my page. Leave questions. Leave scenarios that you want to talk about, that you want answers to. Ladies, this is your time to get at us. Get at us as men and ask us the tough questions. I promise you, promise you, your questions will be answered. Fellas, don't be afraid to get on and show yourself. It'll help you better yourself.